Welcome back to Barry Charles Harness, your one-stop shop for everything harness racing in Australia and New Zealand. In today's episode, we're going to look at, tonight's action, the big ones. We got the Christian Cullen, the inaugural Christian Cullen with a small field of 7, disappointing, and the two derbies, the New Zealand Derby and the Trotting Derby. We're going to review these races and then look at the Interdominion series, which went to Bathurst on a wet night at Bathurst with some upsets galore. It was a trail 3 deep situation where you want to be at Bathurst. They struggled out wide. But just to get this all going, first of all, let's recap on the great races. Yes, the great race. Well, the Christian Cullen is on tonight. And I thought we will go trip down memory lane of Christian Cullen being let down in the Miracle Mile. And, of course, the New Zealand Cup, as well as a couple of derby wins from Alsu and Lazarus.
28-3 and Danny Campbell let him down. Christian Cullen, 10 metres, Franco lots more, tailor-made Lombo. Then Alsu, Vancelot, Franco hat-trick held up, looks a place chance. Heracles dropped out, but it's all Christian Cullen. He's 10 metres in front of tailor-made Lombo. Then Alsu Vancelot, he's done it there. Now he's done it here. Hail the new Australasian champion Christian Cullen. He won the Miracle Mile by 20 metres in a time of 1:54.4.
Christian Cullen heads for home. It's Christian Cullen. He puts 3 lengths on Heracles. Christian Cullen. Heracles wants to come out and make it worthwhile. It's Christian Cullen in front. Heracles. It's the finish we expected. Christian Cullen and Heracles. Christian Cullen, Heracles. It's Christian Cullen in a galaxy of stars. He's the brightest of all. Leader is Elsu. Elsu, Raptorial Light and Sound will get the passing lane run. Over the outside, Howard, Bromac, Napoleon, All-Star Blue Jean wider out on the track, but Elsu kicks here. Elsu, Napoleon, Howard, Bromac through the middle, and All-Star Blue Jean is wider. Raptorial is still there. Now Light and Sound having the last kick, but they go to the line and Elsu wins the derby. Elsu, a brilliant ahead.
Lazarus is going to outgun him though. He swept past Lazarus. He is simply a star, and their rock and roll dance, New Zealand Derby to Lazarus.
Well. Danny Campbell did let him down. Christian Cullen was unstoppable as a 4-year-old. Absolutely outstanding. God rest his soul, Danny Campbell. Big one there. The New Zealand Cup. Unbeaten as a 4-year-old. Unbelievable. And the race named after him tonight, Christian Cullen. For anyone that's going there tonight to Addington, get to see Christian Cullen in the flesh at 30 years old, I believe. Unbelievable that he's still alive. He's going to lead out the field tonight, and I think that there's only a 2-horse race in that one, to be honest, in the New Zealand Derby coming up tonight. Don't Stop Dreaming leads. Merlin sits parked. I think that's pretty much the scenario here. You got to decide after that who's going to go run where. Pinseeker Trail, 3 Deep Charlie Brown, you'd assume. Then after that, Rakira Rocket could potentially be in the 1-1. It just depends on where these horses want to run. And to be honest, the other two are just plodders in this race. No offence to those horses, but really, Don't Stop Dreaming's to lose. Can Merlin really put the pressure on and try and lead? Potentially there. I think he'll be giving Merlin maybe the race. So I think Don't Stop Dreaming will hold the lead and win this race. Merlin, will he run second? I don't know if it's a guaranteed Quinella, to be honest, if he sits parked. Merlin has struggled when sitting parked in the past, and it's proven to be some horses just struggle with that. So whether he sits back, would you sit back? I don't know. I doubt that Zach Butcher would sit back, but if he was patient enough, maybe that's where he needs to go and run for second. But I guess if he's driving to win, he'll be just going all guns are blazing for the lead. But I don't see that happening, and Don't Stop Dreaming is a good bet for the night, I believe. Who's the chance to run into the placings here? Either Pinseeker, Charlie Brown, and then Rakira Rocket. They're the only ones with chances. They could potentially run second and third, and Merlin runs down the track over this longer distance, potentially. Be interesting then. But obviously the interesting one outside of Don't Stop Dreaming and Merlin is the first horse home that isn't a Group 1 winner gets an extra bonus, so that's going to make the race interesting. And I'd say it'd be Pinseeker and Charlie Brown for me. But if Rakira Rocket's in the 1-1, maybe, but he'll have to probably be better than those others by a few lengths to sit in the 1-1 and beat them home. So we will see if that plans out. Going to be interesting race, that's for sure. Well, That leads into New Zealand Derby. Yes, the New Zealand Derby. What do I see happening early on? You've got the likes of Renegade and Better Knuckle Up. Can they come out? They don't normally have that much gate speed. So that will lead to the likes of Hadron Collider and Harrison John to be the interesting runners here early on. Who can get out first? And then Chase a Dream, will she push out from the wide draw or go back? That'll be another question mark on there. Then you got horses off the back road like We Walk In by Faith. Dreams Are Free. Bessem, obviously a good horse as well. How do I see the race running? Yeah, it's a tough one here. If Better Knuckle Up gets to the pegs, I would say he is the main chance of winning. But if Chase a Dream gets to the lead easy enough, Chase a Dream is the horse to beat in my opinion. At his best, but it depends how hard he has to work if he is going to get to the lead. But yeah, if I was trying to have a bet in the race, where would you go? It's very hard to put a bet on anything. Probably the place Better Knuckle Up, assuming he's going to get a soft run. But again, if he's too far back, maybe not. If he's sitting parked, then definitely not. Most of these horses can't do that these days. It all depends on who gets stuck in the running. But Chase the Dream is a horse to beat, in my opinion. Better Knuckle Up has more options, but doesn't really have the gate speed to use early on. Or Chase a Dream, they draw on there. You say Chase a Dream's $1.50 favourite, even though it didn't get done last week. But it's going to be an interesting race, and it's a very open derby, and there's no superstar in it. Let's be frank. I don't even think there's a New Zealand Cup winner in this field, so disappointing. The breed's just struggling a bit in New Zealand the last few years. They really need to top that up. But obviously what everyone has come to see here in the New Zealand Trotting Derby, Keayang Zahara, going for what, 14 in a row, I believe. This horse just leads and wins. There's no one going to hold him out. Empire City can gallop as well, so I'm expecting Father Time to get the trail. That could potentially be a good Quinella option, but they're all the ones behind them are all in the same similar boat. Father Time, Empire City, Look at the Stars, Paramount, Kiwi, Bring on the Muscle, Princess Sadie. They're all the chance. Princess Sadie could be an interesting one early if she can bolt down and try and lead. But I have seen that try before and failed a lot. So it'll be interesting times ahead for them. Well, yes, the Interdominions continue in Menangle tomorrow night. The final heats. So heat 7 to 9 for the Pacers and heat 5 and 6 for the Trotters, as they get ready to rock and roll as their last chance to make the final, which will be next week. And I hope to see you all on course, as that's where I'll be next week as well, watching live the big races. Yes, let's have a look at what we saw at Bathurst on a wet soaking day. It started off alright, but it then turned wet. Let's have a look at the first heat here. Heat 4, Black Sedans getting it done early on. But then, what happened afterwards?
Eddie 26.9 and he goes for home here. The leader is Black Sedan. Sweating on the out now is Narano. On its outside, sticking on now is Dangerous, putting in a good burst. They straighten. Black Sedan's inside run comes for Narano. Captain's Knock, Dangerous. They're all over the shop. Jamati's flashing home, but Narano steals a march, and Narano goes home to be Dangerous. Third home, Captain's Knock.
Well, as you can see from the footage, Black Sedan's got the early lead, which gave Narano the perfect trail. Captain's Knock, the beautiful 3 deep. And then it was all over Red Rover from that. Absolutely a non-race, to be honest. Absolutely walk in the park. Black Sedan's at his best, but just not up to this level. He's a lot older horse, just couldn't handle it. Really, with the run he had, he should have run second or third. He really paddled to the line. Narano gets it done from the passing lane. Captain Knock was running on. Dangerous was a good run again. Dangerous. He's a sneaky for the final. Dangerous. He's going some good races. He really is going some good races. Yeah, Dangerous is definitely dangerous. And an upset chance in this final series. What do I think of the chances of these horses going into the finals? First 3 are chances in the final, I believe. These 3 are up with the big chances. They can all make their own luck a little bit. So it's going to be depending on barrier draw, but all these 3 horses are a chance. They're in top 3 in this race. No one outside of the top 3 have a chance of winning the final, in my opinion. Let's go check out Heat 5, the video Just did a few clips of this race.
District Attorney near the inside commenced with them, is showing good speed. Don Hugo spears through the centre, going in search of the top spot, and it's handlebars down for MacDan, and Don Hugo and MacDan go together into that first. Next on the outside is Terry, and Alfred makes a move now. One can't find a better man, surging at the 800, coming around them. Following it is Nyack, following it is Donegal Luther, and in that shuffle home corner, the leader is still Don Hugo, trying hard, can't find a better man. Then Nyack, Max Delight's in behind them, and District Attorney's trying to come on, but he says, let's go on the Don, and Don Hugo explodes away below the 75. It's all over. It's all Don Hugo, and Don Hugo too good. Don Hugo beats District Attorney.
Yes, well, Don Hugo bounces back, and obviously the fresh-up run, I thought probably want to have another run before the series, but with four races in the series, maybe they think they can pick him at the right time, and well, he bounced back to winning form. Don Hugo got a soft lead this time, to be honest. MacDan tried to come out, but once he knew he was in the lead, that was all over Red Rover. Mac Da Vinci gave up his chances of being in the final by going backwards at the start. Endlessly, but probably was not going to lead either, but sometimes you got to roll the dice and maybe get the 1-1. And then from there, Can't Find a Better Man came burning around way too quick. I don't know what Chris Alford was up to. He absolutely burnt like lightning. If he was doing that, he must have kept trying to go for the lead. And that was the only chance he had. He absolutely burnt that couple hundred metres to get to the park position. He was a sitting duck turning for home. Can't Find a Better Man. As most of the top horses these days can't sit parked and win. And he paddled down the straight, and I mean paddled. But Don Hugo booted clear, absolutely booming to the victory. Way too good was Don Hugo, and to be honest, he looks like the only horse in this field that can win the final. But I still think Can't Find a Better Man can, with the right run. He's the only other horse in this field that I give any chance to. District Attorney had a perfect trail and paddled up the straight, and he just got second. Shows you how weak this field is. Unfazed third, huge. Max Delight fourth. I would say disappointing on paper, but then saying that from coming out wide, they just battled it there. So maybe we can forgive him a little bit, Max Delight. He's still a chance in the series with the right run. Stinger Fair, that's for sure. Let's go to Heat 6 now. Let's go check out the final heat of the paces for round 2 at Bathurst. And what a mistake from Minstrel.
Gee, hard to find an early leader. Away OK, See Ya Art, but now being joined by My Moonlight Dream. I Break the Line, showing good toe in the centre of the pack as well. And off the track, Zeus Bromax handy to them. So too is Magician, a real charge early. There towards, all going off stride, Minstrel. It was Minstrel going for a gallop. Minstrel up in the air. Moonlight Dream's under a heavy drive. See Ya Art's running a big race. They were followed by Magician. These back markers are nowhere to be seen at the moment. And into the straight, My Moonlight Dream's the leader. See Ya Art takes its shot on the sprint lane. Pete Sedso's running a big race, and then came Magician. Up on the inside, Pete Sedso's finishing brilliantly. My Moonlight Dream trying to hold off Pete, but Pete Sedso has won it. Beats My Moonlight Dream.
Yes, as I alluded to before, Minstrel blew it not long after the start and put himself out of contention, which led to an interesting start to the race here. See Ya Art coming out, a few of them coming out, and My Moonlight Dream finally got to the lead. And then from then, it was just an inside procession again. Pete Said So. Yes, Pete Said So for Robbie Morris and Kerry-Ann Morris. Absolutely outstanding one from Pete Said So. And it's just such guttering that he's drawn the back row. He's a horse that could easily have got the pegs and be a big chance, but he's going to be near enough to last in his heat, and makes it tough for him to make the final, because he could definitely get into the final. But the only thing in Pete Said So's good books that he handles the racing, so potentially some of these other horses might not handle the food race, and maybe he's a chance to sneak into the final, but he's probably going to have to run fourth food. I don't know if he can from that draw. It's going to be tough, but we will see if Pete Said So can get it done. But getting back to this race with Pete Said So winning, See Ya Art and the likes, but I just don't see a winner in this field. Curly James, potentially, it is pretty even. Crop and Minstrel are probably the best chances out of this heat. I just say forget Curly James for around. He was running home from the back at the end. He was a very good sprint up the straight. Moonlight Dream just battled on. He won't be winning the final. but it's a factor early if he gets a draw. So he gets like the likes of My Moonlight Dream. A lot of them it's just draw dependent. If they get a good draw, they're a place chance in the final. I can't see them winning the gate speed, but it's going to be an interesting final because there's a lot of horses with gate speed. So it could be fireworks early when we get to the final. Let's see how Queen Elida went.
They're racing. Toro Stride began well. Queen Elida got off the arm hard. So did Keayang Chucky. London to a bricks up in the air. London to a bricks go to drop right out of play in the meantime. Keayang Stuka went up to fourth and then came Plymouth Chubb. Sunny G. Sunny G heads the remainder. They round the turn now. That third quarter was 28.9 and it's Queen Elida first into the straight. Plymouth Chubb. Toro Stride's being shaken up on the inside and back to the inner is Keayang Stuka. But Queen Elida below the 100 had darted clear and Queen Elida too good. Queen Elida first, second. Oh gee, it's close.
Yes, well, heat 3 for the Trotters was up at Bathurst and well, it was a gallopathon. Starting off with London off a brick straight out of the gate, galloped, making him have to win the final to be any chance. Keayang Chucky under pressure, or Queen Elida could argue maybe got checked, but just couldn't handle the pressure and galloped, which took those two out of the race, which left of the procession really. Queen Elida just got to the lead, Plymouth Chubb got to the park position, and really Keayang Struker from 3D was running on. Toro Stride had every opportunity to come in, but didn't. But yeah, it was a procession, but Queen Elida is looking like the winner of the series. I really do think there's a class above them here. Let's now go have a look at Heat 4 with the Locomotive just holding on after looking like he was going to win by 5 lengths.
Getting away well was Sleepy. It got away okay, showing speed in the centre as the Locomotive and Mufasa Metro's up there contesting, and it's game on into that first turn. Ever just as keen to try and find the lead here with Mufasa Metro. Hewitt's just as keen to hold, and as they come through that first quarter, going clear here in front as the Loco up the ante here on this favourite. That third quarter, 27.7. He gets rolling. He sends it clear. It's the Locomotive 8 metres in front. Second Mufasa Metro. They were followed by Sleepy, Aldebaran, Zeus and Aldebaran Vera, but heads were turned for home. And the leader chugging along is the Locomotive. He gives it a little shake up. On the outside, Aldebaran Zeus is finishing on hard. The leader is still the Locomotive. He needs the post. He's going to find it. The Locomotive gets in again, beats Aldebaran.
Well, one of the favourites for the race, Parisian Artist, galloped at the start, took a play, which made it interesting early with Mufasa Metro putting some pressure on, but could not get past the Locomotive. But maybe that's why Locomotive got tired at the end, because he went for gold. At the 600 metre mark, he was already going for gold with Locomotive, probably going too early. Why would you go so hard when you got 2 more races to go? To me, just madness. That's why I'm putting Queen Elida on top for the series final. It was pretty much a sprint home, and the Locomotive just held on from Aldebaran, Zeus and Aldebaran Vera flying home and rolled down on the inside. But yeah, when we're looking at the final of the Trotters, to be honest, there's only 2 in it. Queen Elida and the Locomotive. One of those 2 should win it on what we're seeing at the moment. I can't really make a case for anything else in the race. Can London to a brick start trotting and have to do it 2 weeks in a row? Has to win this week to make the final. I don't even know if that will happen. So to me, Queen Elida's race to lose. I think she looks the best horse in the series. Well, we better have a look at the heats coming up, folks. Yes, the heats are rocking and rolling. And Menangle now. It's moved to Menangle, the big hub of New South Wales. Have a look at Heat 7. What do I think will happen early here? Well, you got Jim Marty, Tenzing, Bromick, District Attorney, and out wider Magician. These are probably the horses that got the early speed. Also Don Hugo. Will Don Hugo go back or go forward? That would be a question mark for him. Do you want to really burn in this race? What do I think's likely to happen? I still think Don Hugo gets the lead. And I think he'll come out. He won't come out hard, but he'll come out enough to get there. And I think no one will. But it'll be probably depending on Jamati or District Attorney if they put the pressure on early. I think Cam Hart might push on, because I think going backwards might be no hope for him either. But if he goes too hard to get past Jim Marty, that could be the end of him there. But if he's able to either lead Jim Marty or trail him and be 3 deep on the inside, there might be chances for that to happen, and there might be a chance in the series Wait for District Attorney to make the final. I can't see anything going past Don Hugo winning this. Jim Marty's my second pick. And then you can have a host of people. Mac Da Vinci is an upset top 4 chance from the inside draw. Following out Jim Marty. Yeah, to be honest, yeah, Don Hugo will probably win. But there is question marks though if Don Hugo goes back and then comes around, then there'll be a different story. But I expect he'll be going forward and won't be sitting on his laurels. Heat 8, well, yep, we're getting to the rock and roll part of the series here, where a lot of horses need to be running top 2 to make the final. Some are nearly out completely without, unless they win. So Arden's Ace should lead early. Where Ben Bopping will be the interesting runner. Star Major has some gate speed. Orano again, some bit of danger zone out there. What do? Do you go forward, sit back? That's going to be the question mark for Orano as well. Terry's got the ideal draw for a top 3, top 4 finish. Probably has to run top 3 to make the final. He's going to get his chance. Whether he's 3 or 4 deep, that'll be the question mark on him. If he's 3 deep, he's a big chance of running top 4. If he's 4 deep, it might be a bit hard, but you just never know how hard these horses work. It could get the perfect run, so he's a good top 4 bet. Also, what's Minstrel going to do? He's probably going to have to run top 3 after going from first to last, so it's going to be an interesting race for him. And where does he get into the running? I see him ending up parked, and I think if you're parked, you know hope. What do I expect? I think Narano will eventually lead. But it depends on Dangerous, because Dangerous is in good form, and I think Dangerous needs to make a precedent here. And I think he could be going forward here and trying to lead after Arden's Ace, and if that's the case, I don't know if he'll hand up to Narano. It'd be interesting. Arden's Ace obviously going to be interesting. It might help Terry into the race. Minstrel, I don't know. Minstrel's probably better to be looking for just a run in behind and come sprinting home at the end. I think that's his best chance of coming. If he comes to the park, I think he pedals. I expect that's what they'll drive him like to sit in park, but to me, I don't think he's up to that level able to do that. You can do that at Gloucester Park, you can't do that here in Menangle. But I mean, most of the other horses that I haven't mentioned basically have to win to make the final. I can't really see any of them really winning, even though it is an even series. Well, the final heat, the last chance to make the final, well, Curly James gets a beautiful draw at 1. Carina Problema couldn't make a Problema problems for Curly James if he gets crossed, but I don't know the way she's racing. I don't think they'll be pushing the go button there. Can't find a better man. He's interesting. Not a super speedy gate horse. He has some gate speed, but don't know if he's going to have enough to lead. If he does lead, though, he is the top pick. But I don't see that happening either. Donegal Lufa got some gate speed, but can gallop as well, so he could be an enigma in this race. And MacDan drawing the back needs to win, so I can't see them having Mac Delight top 4. That's a chance. But pretty much everyone else is all over Red Rover. But looking at this race, and obviously Captain Knock, what he does early is going to be interesting, because I think he'll be going forward. I think Curly James will lead early, and then the question mark is who's going to get to the thing next. So My Moonlight Dream, I would expect will end up eventually leading. And then that leaves Can't Find a Better Man or Captain's Knock, who's ahead of each other at that point, which I think will be Captain's Knock. And Captain's Knock leads. I think that's what's going to happen. And then Can't Find a Better Man might be in no man's land and potential to miss the final if he runs a bad race. So I'm not sure what to do there. We punters out there. I think Captain Knock is the bet. I think he's the one. I think Curly James is a good place bet. I think he's going to be either trail or 3D at worst. And he's definitely a big chance in this. Max Delight's going to need some luck. I think they'll just drive him conservatively and just hope to sprint home enough to get into the top 4. Well, the other horses need to win. Yeah, so if I'm looking at my top horses for the series now, who I think can win the race, I think Don Hugo is probably the top horse, but I think Dangerous is not far behind. I really think Dangerous is up there at the moment. Captain's Knock, Norano, and Can't Find a Better Man. I think those 3 probably, they all do. They need not to run too hard to get to the win. It's probably whoever of these ones leads or trails, whoever of these horses get that sort of run, one of them will win the Interdominion. I can't see a winner coming from outside that. Doesn't mean it can't, because it's a very open series, but I think one of these horses should have gate speed enough to make it interesting. I suppose Minstrel, if he makes the final and draws 1, then he's a chance as well. Trotters, yes, the last two heats, the heat 5 and heat 6, to try and make the final. Keayang Zahara should lead, but after he was under pressure last time, I don't know if he will push the go button this time. The Locomotive and Mufasa Metro might be similar tactics this week, and I still think we will see the same result, that Locomotive will lead. Whether they just hand up to Mufasa Metro, maybe Mufasa Metro goes a bit harder this time, going, well, we need to make the final. This is what we need to do. So it's going to be interesting fireworks early. But anyway, at the end of the day, Locomotive will lead at some point, whether it's straight away or after. Keayang Zahara, if he got the trail, be the main danger. Mufasa Metro, same diff. If he can get the trail, he's a chance. And then outside of that, well, you're right, you're in Out of Baron Zeus is obviously a top 3 chance. Plymouth Chubb, obviously a good horse, and probably the toughest horse of this field, and I expect him to run top 3 running on nicely. And I think is the other horse in the series outside of Queen Elida, and the likes they could win the race if they could trail behind Queen Elida. That'd be Plymouth Chubb's best chance. But yeah, it's a pretty thin field. And if you look at the final trotters heat, there's only 8 in it. Queen Elida leads. Then that leaves a plethora of chances. Royal Dan could trail. Parisian Artiste, London to a Brick. The best London to a Brick could easily win this race. And he has to win. That's the only chance of making the final is winning, I think. Second, maybe, I don't know. Pretty much London to a Brick has to win. But I think Queen Elida wins this race. London to a Brick can potentially do that. Parisian Artiste and Royal Dan, the place get chance without Ella Baron Vera. And to be honest, Speedy Love and the other likes are running for their lives, because they will be out the back door struggling, not up to this class of horse, which is probably not that strong. Both of these Interdominions are a little disappointing. Well, it's going to be interesting races tonight. Chase a Dream, will Chase a Dream get it done? Will Purdon they bounce back, because they have struggled a little bit this series? Chase a Dream, Keayang Zahara, likely to get it done. Muscle Mountain versus Oscar Bonifina, that'll be a good race to watch. The Christian Cullen, Don't Stop Dreaming versus Merlin. I would say Don't Stop Dreaming gets it done, but if Merlin does lead, then Merlin can win. And then obviously the Interdominion series, Queen Elida for the New Zealand folks. That's the biggest claim to this race. Big chance of winning the final. Probably going to be a match race between him and Locomotive, who gets the draw. And then in the Paces one, it's a more open affair. Who can make the final? It's all going to come down to barrier draw, I believe. And if they go guns a blazing early, it'll be set up for someone who's been just sitting in behind with a soft trip from Menangle with a 3 deep on the pegs, something like that. Or the 1-1, if they got these soft enough, they are the horses to look out for. Anyway, that's Barry Charles Harness for another episode. I hope you liked the video, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Have an awesome day out there.